Wholeness and Balanced Vibrations family, let me be the first to welcome you as a reflection of you. I am Curtis Aru, and this is the OneTribe podcast, home of the Daily Spectrum Resonance, where we share solutions relating to physical, mental, and spiritual well-being with sovereignty as our goal. We discuss what works with adept guests and tribe. No theory, just raw, unapologetic truth, because truth is nature, and we honor her gifts. So leave your shoes at the esoteric door as we make soul connections with every step forward. Let's keep vibing in resonance at top speeds because the portal is now open. Wholeness. Wholeness and Balanced Vibrations family, sending much love to you. Coming in resonance today is a beautiful day to connect. Beautiful Tuesday, noble, protect the day for all those who are on the numerology. And today is a phenomenal day because we have some phenomenal guests coming in and to share some wisdom beyond the physical and what's going on in the physical. Like I said, I'm the brother Curtis Aru, the reflection of you, joined by the divine Danny Cosmos here.
Yes. Peace, fam.
Wholeness. And a slew of other guests that's going to be bringing us, sharing us what they do best and what some of the gifts that they offer into the world in their unique way. And first up, I have to give thanks to the Ringing Stone Network. Network that's been going on for quite some time, and I had the pleasure of joining a podcast led by brother Usiku. And I'll pass the floor over to him as he share a little bit about himself and some of the guests that we got coming in today. Giving thanks.
It's one piece, brother. You know, I missed the day when we did the fire and the camp out. Remember when we did that? And hopefully at some point I can get back down to Columbia and we do that again. That was special.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? You know, very special. Well, family, I'm Usiku Hill. I was doing a podcast called the Ringing Stone Network. And it was based around, there were stones that you can hit and they ring like bells. So they resonate energy. And today is a very appropriate time because tonight you will see some of those stones and the presentations they give will ring like bells and resonate through you. And then we're going to have a special event coming up at the end of the month where these same stones will be ringing like bells to help raise your elevation and that sort of thing. So the Ringing Stone Network is here again. But however, this one is the interdimensional journey. And primarily, I'm just helping them with the logistics, like helping get flights and helping spiritually with support. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you like one of the fall two people, and then she's going to take it from there. But thank you very, Curtis, and thank you for having us. I'm glad you took it. I mean, with no hassle, I called you brother. You're like, yeah, take me. So what I want to do, I want to give you someone that's spiritually led and supported academically. This netter, I prefer netter, is named Nikki Morgan. She has over 18 years of intimacy alchemy with specializations in touchless orgasm, cymatic, polygamic informed, Reiki master, martial arts, trauma-informed, coagulative behavior therapist, Ayurvedic, ordained ministry, Tantra, and sacred medicine integrated into knowledge. And so what I do, I'll give you Nikki Morgan, and then she's going to present and give information on the rest of them. And thank you. Peace.
Peace and greetings. Thank you for creating this space and allowing us to share our work here. I'm grateful to be here. And yes, I'm an intimate alchemist. I know there are many titles that he has mentioned. And as we are moving through this new world, it becomes very appropriate that all the compartmentalizations that we've experienced in our old paradigm is now as we're starting to sew the pieces together and understand the puzzle just a little bit more, we're starting to communicate differently. And so my work based in intimacy, this conversation is about intimacy of the body. And when we have intimacy with the body in all levels, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, when we understand that these bodies, 50% of it hosts microbiome and aspects of ourselves that we don't even consider. We bypass it. We say to ourselves, "Oh, I'm craving this pizza so much," but it might be just simply that there's an overgrowth of one of the many that you are hosting, right? Being able to communicate with ourselves, understanding our arousal, understanding our emotions, and how these emotions allow us to travel our infinite self. And when we polarize to some of these emotions with storylines that we loop in our minds, then what that does is it creates trauma. But sometimes it doesn't even have to be trauma. It doesn't even have to be something that is burdensome. Sometimes it can simply be something that you are adamant about holding on to, or sometimes you don't even know that you believe something until it hits you. Someone calls you a bear and you're like, "I'm offended." But why were you offended if you know what you are? So just wanted to share a little bit about my work. And now I would really love to introduce my sister, magical, primordial, Nikki Monty. She specializes in sonic alchemy. She is a Reiki master teacher and a sonic alchemist who has been involved in various healing modalities and practices for over a decade, combining both modalities, both Reiki and sonic alchemy during her sessions is a reset and recalibration of all that is self. This is primordial medicine that enters and supports the physical, spirit, soul, and etheric bodies. Please be advised that this sonic alchemy sound sessions that are ceremony are not a traditional sound bath or sound healing. And I want her to tell you more about that. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for that introduction. My name is Nikki Monty. I'm a sonic alchemist, Reiki master teacher, and I practice a lot of different things, but these two are my master elements of healing. I've been doing and involved in sound for over 20 years, but really came into it doing different various things with production and DJing and things of that nature, and really understanding how frequency touches you, right? So behind me, I have master healing gongs that I utilize in my sessions and ceremonies. I work with tools such as these Tibetan healing bowls, crystal chimes, crystal singing bowls, tuning forks, rattles, drums, flute, different things so that I can assist in what is necessary for what the soul is calling for the healing process to begin, and to assist that person on their earth walk. So there's so much to talk about. I don't even know how to really explain it, but I do know that this is a medicine that came to me, and I started with myself in this healing process. And because it has done so much for me, it has made me want to share this with other people. Because when I sit in front of my gong, there's nothing left but you go into this deep primordial essence, and there's nothing else to think about except healing. So because the sounds are so profound, they're so loud, they really get into your cells and your blood and your organs. There's so many wonderful things that it does. And it sparks this change within you, this enlightenment of the self. It makes you face your demons and all the things about yourself that you don't believe, or that you don't want to change. It makes you face it, and then it allows you to have a more prosperous, harmonious, balanced, aligned life. And it has done so much for me, so that's why I decided to delve in it so deep. And there's such a great science behind it. So I don't want to take up too much time, but I do want to continue to discuss this, because this is such an important topic, and we also don't see many people such as ourselves in alignment with this type of practice, even though we do love sound. We know how important the drum is. It gets us moving. It's very ancestral. It's something very primordial as well, especially when you're dealing with animal skins that come from Aboriginal nations that utilize this to call on specific energies for healing in different animal skins. And there's such a science to it, and it's spiritual science. And my company that I have, or my business that I have, is called My Spiritology because it is the science of spirit. So thank you. That's all I need to say right now. Thank you.
Oh, Ness, give thanks. Amazing. Now, so again, I'm looking forward to the build after this. After we get these introductions in, giving thanks, sister, and with your business, and all of us have a business. Drop the links down there, and I can put it in the comments so those can follow your page, bookmark it, and send love too. Check you out. Up next one, we got Chief Nighthawk giving thanks. I believe Brother Usiku or Sister Nikki, would you mind giving Brother an intro, or he probably can speak for himself. The headdress definitely does.
Nikki, I feel like it's appropriate if you give Chief Nighthawk his introduction. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, because something happened and I was on my computer, something popped up and I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So Chief Nighthawk is a medicine man based out of Atlanta, Georgia. He's been dealing with medicines for over 11 years. He works with various different medicines. Indigenous medicines is what I call them. He may refer to them as something else, but the work that he does is very profound. It deals with us on an ancestral and spiritual, etheric, and galactic level. He is very knowledgeable and wise, and he is a wonderful medicine man that is very involved in the community. He has experience beyond what I can even fathom based on conversations that I've had with him and experiences that I've shared with him. I don't even know how to introduce because his knowledge and information is so vast and wise. He's a very wise elder. He deals with animal medicine, plant medicine, spiritual medicine. He's here to assist in the evolution of self. So without further ado, Chief Nighthawk.
Woo, woo, woo. Thank you. As I refer to that Nikki, I refer to her as Running Deer. My name is Chief Nighthawk, Yamasee of the Altamaha bloodline. I am sitting chief of the Yamasee. I am, the sitting medicine man of the Yamasee. I host and sit with a lot of different plant medicines, animal medicines, nature medicines, of that sort. I've been doing this work for over a decade now, servicing the community. I'll be, I guess, the master of ceremony Friday night when we have our ceremony. I guess I don't know what else to say about myself. I don't speak a lot about myself. I'm better at answering questions, for people, for the things that people have to answer about plant medicine. My first medicine that I actually practiced was hugging. And I'm also a musician. I play different instruments, drum, flute, didgeridoo, things of that nature. Yeah, that's about it.
Nice. Giving thanks, brother. Giving thanks. I saw when I saw the name, I was like, I know, bro. Like, a couple years ago, man. Yeah, and actually it's funny because I recently got a hawk foot, no, the foot of a hawk, and I remember the first person I saw with that was you, and I was like, oh, every time I look at it, I think of you, and it's amazing how again you came back into the reality at this time because it maybe about 3 weeks ago that it happened.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, brother. Give thanks.
Giving thanks indeed.
And bless to the queen too.
Giving thanks. Yeah. So is that everyone? I think everybody's on the panel. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Brother Dooley. Supreme Brother Dooley, Shaman. Somebody want to throw him an alley oop and he come through with the intro, or again, like you speak for yourself. You again more than welcome to giving thanks, Holiness.
Brother Dooley. So Brother Dooley is he's a visual artist. He is a certified massage therapist. He's a Reiki master, a yoga teacher. He's an intuitive healer from Boston, Massachusetts. While he grew up in the inner city of Roxbury, and was influenced by his father and his mother at a very young age, who teach him the value of metaphysics, mysticism, occult information, and spirituality. I would say he is the mayor of the spiritual community in Boston, and quickly spreading. He was introduced very early to psilocybin mushrooms and has had a very life-changing effect on him. And so he is asking us to dive deeper into teaching plants and fungi. And as you can see with his what he has up his nose, he brings joy and smiles, and that is his first medicine amongst all the other medicines that he works with. And I'm so grateful to be working with this brother here. You got to unmute, dear.
Okay. Do I have it? Yep, I got it now. Peace. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone is doing wonderful. That was a great introduction, Nikki. Great. And you're probably wondering, what's this in Dooley's nose here? This right here is a frequency breather. I got it from my good friend Devon, the Black Airbender. And you could hook it up to a crystal, and it actually opens certain parts of your brain, and also helps with lucid dreaming and all that. So I was just sitting with this particular crystal on it, and it's wonderful. It's just a wonderful device here. So what I do is like what Nikki said, some of the things, and I'm here to help folk out. Help myself to be able to help other folk out as well. And I'm sitting, just gave some medicine to a friend that's sitting right next to me, and this stuff works. You know what I mean? These are old ancient practices, and I had 2 people that came to me this week, and their stories have touched me. So what I'm just seeing is that going back to the old ways. And the old ways is going to not only help yourself as individuals, but it's going to help this planet and stars beyond. So that's some of the things I do. And I'm excited about this retreat. We got some wonderful people on board that's going to change a lot of people's lives. And I look forward to this talk tonight. Yep. Peace.
Ness, giving thanks for this phenomenal panel. I seen Interdimensional. I was like, yeah, that's spot on. As we dive in today. I know Nikki said she had. I got a question to start. I'm gonna ask Nikki more again to answer. To share love. I know she had to run. I might check out a little earlier, but I was just talking to friends. I had this premonition with them myself as we continue to shine our uniqueness. And let me make sure this is cool. As we continue to shine our uniqueness and share things, we begin to change the norms. A lot of us came through, as they said, the black sheep of the family, because we saw a different way to go, or a more way to go inside and externalize everything. We went inside, toroidal field, and with this birthed a number of knowledge, another of witness, another of awareness. And the more I love to say, you find the ones you love doing the things you love. And I was just saying, hey, we need more of us need more events. We need more engagement where this becomes the norm. Because I was saying, we have the culture is what has been missing with a lot of connections. Us building the culture, and this is not doing it is doing it at home, but also making it available for others to, also for you to be a catalyst for others to tap into themselves. And so with this being done, I know my brother said he had some stories that touch that came through, that touched him, and it really motivated us to continue to do the work outside. What I know we have an event, so if you don't know, there's an event coming up on this. It's 3 days, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and
It's actually the 26th through May 1st
26th through May 1st.
in
So
Atlanta, Georgia.
yes,
Yeah.
in Atlanta, Georgia. So give us a rundown, what that's going to be, and what's the schedule going to be like there, and how. I already dropped the link in the YouTube chat, where you can tap into there, and some of the classes that's going to be given, and also I actually more questions after that, because I definitely want to get into the music build. Ethnomusicology is my discipline, and music is of music and society, wherever it is. I went to school in East Africa, in Kenya, and it completely opened my mind to a number of things. So when you talk about sonic and cymatics, I was like, okay, we about to talk. So without further ado, can you give us a little insight of what's going to be done during the event coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm grateful to do so. Yes. So the whole team is not here. So there are a few of us that are not listed here just yet. But during our interdimensional journey, it's exactly that. We are journeying in all of the ways. So our first 3 days, we're going to be getting into our bodies. So we're going to be having ecstatic dancing. We're going to be having qigong. We're going to be having laughing qigong. We're going to have heart openers. We're going to be able to tap into, and everyone has an opportunity to make appointments for indigenous medicinal offerings of all kinds. We all work and have different disciplines. Then we're going to have discussion on decolonizing the mind. We're gonna speak to the bliss of resilience, like literally the physical bliss of resilience. We're going to be able to go deeper into exactly what you're talking about when it comes to the sonic alchemy. We're going to be tapping into Kundalini yoga. We're going to be tapping into intimacy, love, compassion, and harmony. We're also going to be moving into touchless orgasm. We're going to be having a bliss workshop. So literally learning how to rise your aroused self with intentionally, and understanding how that energy connects to your telepathy, connects to your sensuality, connects to your creativity, and so much more. And then on Friday, very special. This is starring our Nikki Monty. And by the way, she's a very special jewel. And I need everybody to know, when they meet her, when they see her, there are not many melanated feminine bodies that are able to play these gongs in the way that she does, or even exist in the way that she does. And because she's offering it in the different areas, like these are not easy things to travel with as well. So when you are in this presence, please understand that this is a very rare opportunity for you to experience a deep travel and value this moment that is sharing. On Saturday, we're able to have integration, and then Sunday we have a sister that is connected to. Actually, no, it is still on Saturday, not Sunday. Excuse me. That there will be a waterfall ceremony. That's an ancestral ceremony, and throughout this entire week, whether you are participating in the indigenous medicines or not, this will be a transformational week. A transformational week. You are going to remember. You are going to tap into things that you would have put. We're going to awaken aspects of ourselves that we have been ignoring for a very long time. And my specialization is in touchless orgasm, and also utilizing arousal to move trauma, as well as be able to tap into our oneness.
I say.
Oh, and I'll just give y'all a little. I meant to just give y'all a little peek.
We'll share right there.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful. Yes. So this is so when you go to the site, you'll get to look at the days. You'll also have an opportunity to schedule private sessions with any one of the facilitators of that week. And you see the listings and the offerings, and those images that you see below with the keyholes. You are able to have full access for the week if you wish. You can pay for one day if you wish, or you can specifically attend the evening of the Sonic Alchemy ceremony. So allow yourself to get familiar with our facilitators. All of our outreach, all of our socials are listed below. And really get intimate with what's going on, because this is, again, a transformational time, and it comes right on time for what we are doing, for what we're moving through.
I say, giving thanks for all the pillars and the reality really showing up for self and showing up for everybody else, because they show up for self, and you're going in.
Thank you for that acknowledgement, because we have to do work on ourselves in order to serve. So, and we are doing work.
Exactly, and it's an everyday thing, right?
Every moment to moment.
To moment. I say. And so we doing, again, this deep work comes at again with experience. And I remember again starting with the music and no sound. You know, we all love sound, like Sister Nikki said, and knowing that sound penetrates. You know, just like, you know, sound is loud in the back in the day. Well, shit, now too. You know, cars with the big speakers, and you close the door and you feel the sound. You know, shit, 10 feet away, you can still feel the vibration. So knowing that sound penetrates the body, and it actually does a number of things, you know, to each and every cell or self that is experiencing it subconsciously and consciously. And so those particular frequencies have been now made aware of and curated, so that now they can be attuned to help us elevate. And sister, I know I do sound. I call it sound healing, a bit of it too. But I know with those particular instruments, the sound or the waveform you'll be engulfed in it. And just like a surfer can surf a water wave, you can surf a sound wave and let that take you into different parts of your consciousness and through the body. And so all these things they're talking about the sound. And since you specialize in the touch, please elaborate more on what you mean by that. I always saying something about explain some more on that touch and using the arousal or the kundalini or that bliss to travel in, you know, these spaces to illuminate one's existence. Give it thanks.
Sure. You know, to put it simply, when you're talking about those cells, and we're also talking about sound, right? We're talking about frequency. So what happens is when your body, when your physical body is in an aroused state, it shuts down your prefrontal cortex. That's the identity that says that I'm human and I am limited in this existence. When you open that arousal, oh, excuse me. When the body is in its aroused state, and even when you're having orgasm, but it doesn't always have to be orgasm. It could just be in that 0 point period. But what it does is it shuts down your prefrontal cortex, that part of you that has the critical mind, and it opens up into the earth heartbeat. So what you're doing is you're triggering the alpha, the theta, the gamma waves in your brain, in the body, right? So it floods the information in your body and allows you to observe your infinite. And so in that travel, similar to sound, we're working with this body. We're working with the vibrational aspects of these bodies, and everything is vibration. So everything is sound. We're shaped by sound, you know. So this is where I even the arousal that comes out of your mouth, your throat, as well as your diaphragm, as well as for those of us that have yonis, you'll see that they even look similar, because this vibration goes all the way up and allows us to travel out. And then we speak to our atoms and our cells, and we say, and they're like, okay, what do you need us to do? And so it is so important for you to understand how you use your brain, so that way we can communicate to those selves. Do you have ears on? Oh no, that's those. Oh, okay. I think those bunny ears. I'm enjoying that. Right.
Right. The feathers in there. But yeah, that's again, it's amazing you say that because everything is nature. We love nature. Everything is vibrations, and I mentioned the toroidal field or Taurus field. You know that Vesica Pisces that enters there is just like the womb, and it also like the vocal cords and so many other things. And we have these like each chakra, you know, its own geometry that speaks to itself, and we know they feel each other continuously, and moving the energy, like knowing about it. You know, it definitely aids in the mastery of the travel. Because, I remember as a kid when I first felt the chill, like, ugh, like somebody was singing. And it was like, oh, what was that? And I was like, I got to figure out what that is. That's my life's mission. To identify, and learning more about that bliss and how to carry that forward. Because it happens so quick. So you got to be in the driver's seat, of your awareness to make these things happen.
Yes, exactly. And I'm so grateful that you're saying all this and also drawing the parallel in the sound and our arousal. I'm so grateful. It's one of my favorite topics. And because I have been a clinical sexologist for 17 years, sewing that and integrating it into this work in gender, in body, in health, in how we integrate and exchange energies is of the utmost importance. So, I touchless orgasm was something that that allowed me to understand that when we are in our aroused state and we're able to really hone this life force energy, then we can serve as a vessel to share that signature, just like sound. And that in itself makes it makes the corporal body sleep so that you can, while being awake, so that you can then access your infinite self while still embodied. And that is what offers what we perceive as orgasm, which is in essence really just the reconciliation between your little eye and your big eye, until eventually orgasm is what you walk. So I'm so grateful. I do have to run, but I'm so grateful for this.
Until next time, we'll have you back on the show.
I'm looking forward. Yes, please. And family, I'm like, please, I know we're celebrating this this week for us. And so please, let's keep going. I'm so grateful to be working with all of us.
Yes, ma'am. Until next time. Give thanks. Yes. Man, so we're gonna continue to build. Feel free to jump in wherever the spirit leads you, as they say. When my sister again a sound again, it was sound and how sound actually works. Because again, everything is vibration, and my brother. Everything is vibration, as we know, and how we use and manipulate these things is how like she said, the bodies are made with sound. You're actually formed with sound, which is so powerful. And all those we are masters of the craft. It's our masters of the craft of how that we create in this reality with these. This is a beautiful vessel that we are doing with. How we using it to really navigate through the world, and that is actually using your uniqueness. And so, my brother Dooley, you here, can you please, if you will, how do you navigating the reality with your craft? As you mentioned, God, I love crystals too, and crystalline forms. Again, it's all geometry. Like that device going in there, and whatever you do, just feel free to share, giving thanks.
Well, you had me think about something since you said sound, because my dad, he used to play jazz music. So I grew up with all kind of type of music around me, right? But I used to always have a love for John Coltrane and Alice Coltrane. And I just felt they were like Arcere and Arset to me, you know what I mean? Because I have one of Alice's Coltrane's books it's an out of print book, but on her spiritual experiences, right? But another cat that really my father put me on to the jazz scene was Sun Ra. You know what I mean? And if people aren't familiar with Sun Ra, he is a force, you know, to deal with, because he, first of all, he said that he was from planet Saturn, right? So when he would be in interviews, he would be like, you know what? You know, I'm really tired of these earthlings here. They something else, you know what I mean, or whatever, right? But what was interesting, I had this elder tell me about this healing he did, right? He knew that a friend was in the hospital, right? So he dedicated that jam. They were supposed to jam at this club or whatever. He dedicated that jam to the sister that was in the hospital, right? She literally, in the hospital, while they were jamming, she literally heard the music in the hospital, and she felt better. You know what I mean? So I just thought about that when you was talking about the sound and the power of sound and all that. That's one of the things that I actually do when I'm doing healings with people myself as well. One thing I do is called psychic surgery. And this came kind of later in with my development, you know what I mean? Because my specialty and what I really love is anything working with Qi energy, or working with the vital force energy. They, in China, they call it Qi, but various cultures around the world, they call it all kinds of different names. You know, India, they call it prana, you know what I mean? In Japan, they call it Qi, you know what I mean? But it's the same type of thing, the life force energy. So it was my dad that taught me about yoga, Qigong, Tai Chi. And he used to have me in Malcolm X Park doing the form, doing the classical Yang, Tai Chi form, different things. But I used to get teased as a young guy, because, you know, you know, hood, you know what I mean?
Right.
Next thing you know, cats is, oh, you think you Bruce Lee? Well, yeah, you know what I mean? This whole thing, right?
You don't try.
Yeah. So, you know, for a while, I kind of pushed that away because I wanted to be embraced by my peers. But everything goes in full circle. So one of the OGs from the neighborhood, big up to him, Killer Man, he put me back on to the Tai Chi and the Qigong. You know what I mean? And I had a lot of respect for this individual. He put him, and it's another older brother named Chemo. He was a graffiti artist. These cats were a little older than me. And they put me on to a lot of the other sciences, such as the Nuwabians, 5%ers, all these different schools of thought. But when I started to get into the Qigong, it saved my life, man. You know, because I was one of those wild hotheads as a teenager. And I grew up around two warring projects, man. And I remember getting in the Qigong and the Tai Chi. It helped calm me down. It helped me take in the moment better, you know what I mean? And then when I started feeling the life force energy, you know what I mean, with the movements, you know what I mean, this sensation through the hands and the body, like tingling electricity and different stuff. I was like, hold on, there's something to this. This is real, you know what I mean? So, and then I started getting into the different type of healings, like the Reiki, and different other things. I used to work at a metaphysical bookstore, and that's when I started getting into the Reiki and all that, right? So I started to see, wow, this Qi stuff is real. It started with me starting cars on the street. So I was with my homeboy Ant Dog and my nephews and nieces, and we seen this dude that his car was down. So I was like, yo, Ant, let's start this car. You know what I mean? So my homeboy Ant's like, man, Dooley, you crazy, man. You can't start the damn car, man. I was like, nah, man, we could do whatever we want. You know what I mean? We got this. You know what I mean? So I seen energy coming down from space. That's what I did. I visualized energy coming down from space, coming through the top of my crown of my head, the crown chakra, and started seeing the energy coming down through my arms and through my fingertips, right? I started seeing that go into the engine, and next thing I know, when I felt like the energy was complete, that's like, yo, I told the dude, I was like, yo, turn the car on, right? he turned the car on, it started, man. So it started, yeah. I started going around the hood, starting cars up. I should goddamn start getting paid. You know what I mean? Forget the damn AAA. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They just start paying me up in this piece. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I started seeing more and more about the energy thing. You know, first thing was taking away my headaches, and then certain pains and different things from people. And then I started going deeper with it. You know what I mean? And I worked on one sister, took cancer out of her stomach with the energy. You know what I mean? So I started going deeper into the science and showing how you could essentially, you know, because this was before your own physical medical doctors using actual tools, cutting people up and all that other stuff. You know, you have people that had medicine women who had things like X-ray vision, who were able to look directly into your body and see what was going on with you. You know what I mean? And they just started having one situation after another. You know, it was another sister. She had these big old lumps on her feet, man, and the foot doctors couldn't do nothing to her. You know what I mean? They one, you know what I mean, for the last 8 years, and she asked if I could do a healing on her. You know what I mean? Next thing I know, I shrunk them bad boys, and I couldn't even believe it at first. You know what I mean? But these situations start happening more and more and more. And when you start having real life experiences, that's when it solidifies in your mind to know this stuff is real, because it's you could read about it, you could watch a video, you know, people could tell you, yeah, you got divine powers and different things like that, but it's nothing like being able to have the experience for your own, because we live in such a time you know, where things are so upside down. You know what I mean? Things, you know, people don't even respect the earth no more. You know what I mean? It's like polluting the earth, doing all kinds of craziness. You know what I mean? So because we came from such a fall, you know what I mean? It's hard for people to realize that we have these capacities, these things that we could do. You know, it's important for especially melanated people to see other melanated people to know that these things are quite possible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wanted to share. Forget why it's still hot. It was a couple of years ago. Again, the same thing, because I was learning with the energy, moving energy. I recorded myself like starting the car, you know, because feeling the energy. So within, as we make this thing more awareness again, 'cause I know you speaking truth. You know, everything you're saying is the essence of truth. You know, you feel it.
Right.
And when you when we so in Secret Energy, and that's what I'm a pillar I'm a member of Secret Energy. SecretEnergy.com, one of the first conscious social media networks live. Now we have a number of things from crypto, crypto tools, lectures, halls, and everything. And one of the semesters, I think semester 2, I believe, it was the diagram which shows the polarities of the hands, negative, positive, positive throughout the whole body. And so part of the things I would imagine when my car, gave up and the battery, I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And, and exactly what you said, and lifted it. So I was like, and for a minute, probably about 3 days, I was like, I don't need to change my battery, because I was like giving it to the battery. And so
you could save some money up in that piece. You know what I
mean? Facts. I did it for a couple of days. I think about 3 days. I was like, I got this. And I was like, I'm just going to give you the battery. But realizing that we have this ability within us to really change the world. I remember it was a brother Kwame, I forgot the elder. I forgot his name for right now, but he was basically saying, connecting back to nature and how we can heal the human error in nature, like polluting the water. We can go put hands in the water and really, navigate this pollution, to transform it, that we can remove some of it, but also change the form of the water, because the water now that we use is it's not moving naturally. It's moving through corners and pipes. Meant to be curves and spirals, and so reinvigorating the water. Even every shower, you can speak to the water, and all the water that touches you, that comes into the edge, you can actually send it off, better than it came. And,
but I want to touch on too, you talked about just more melanated people seeing us in this space, because we've had this power, but it's been attributed to Jesus and God. I mean, grandma's hands, like our
Right.
grandmothers were medicine women, going and
Right.
getting herbs and laying hands, and we didn't go to the doctor. Grandma rubbed you down, so it's been there. It's
Exactly.
just been attributed to something outside of ourselves in nature. So it's so important that we do see it in these different spaces from these people who grew up like us, you know, who are not
Right.
so far removed, and showing you that the power is self, it's all in self, and learning how to harness it. Because I know when I used to get angry, blow light bulbs and tires because I had no
Right.
control
Right.
over it. Like Curtis would be like, "Why you mad?" And I'm like, "I'm not," and a tire would blow. And it's
Right.
like,
Right.
so learning how to control these things and use them for healing of ourselves, our oneness, and of our earth is so imperative.
You know, it's so interesting. One of the sisters, she said the same thing. She said she don't like to get angry because she start moving the wind. She start doing all kinds of stuff, man. So that's, I'm telling you, it's deep. And then I remember I met another sister. I'll never forget her. Her name is Jennifer Blue. Good peoples, you know what I mean? And she had a levitation experience. You know what I mean? She was just running super fast in the morning, you know what I mean, one day. And she couldn't believe it. She came off the earth, so many inches off the earth. You know what I mean? And she was looking around. She was freaking out like, yo, did that just happen? You know what I mean? And she came home and told her mama what happened, right? Her mama's, to this day, it always tripped me out. Her mama's reaction was like, girl, that ain't nothing. You know what I mean? I did the same thing when I was in my 20s too. She's like, don't you know it run in our family? You know what I mean? So again, yes, and this is real. This is a chick from the projects, man. You know what I mean?
And that's why they're in the
church and all that, and she had no clue that this type of things can happen. But you know, I my family was considered the oddballs of the neighborhood, because you know my father told me since day one. He's like, yeah, son, you could walk through walls, you could fly, you could do all kinds of stuff. But he says you got to master your mind first. He said you got to master your mind and your heart. You know what I mean? And so it made it very aware that, you know, because, but the beautiful thing, again, is because we came so far from that. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to Brother Hank Rising's son earlier this morning, me, him, and my homeboy Firewater was building. And we were saying how, you know, even during the Atlantean times, you know what I mean? We were running things back then, but the level of technology, the level of where we were, it was just 10 times, you know, than where we're at right now. Right. You know, so it's sometimes it kind of, you know, when you see people, your people, you know, caught up in the clubs, you know, twerking, doing whatever they do, you know, not to judge anybody, but to say where we're at now, then, you know, than where we before. You know, I understand where some of that doubt and some of that, you know, that pseudoscience or whatever comes into people's mind. And that's why, again, I say it's important for people to see these things, you know what I mean? And that's why I was like, them living masters like Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Simio Toko, these were living masters during our own time that actually did amazing things, you know what I mean? So, you know, I say to them, man, you know?
I say indeed, bro. Indeed.
But
Yeah.
but
So again,
don't you see that as we move closer to the age of Aquarius, that more and more people are waking up, period.
That's right.
I mean? It was like
That's right.
You know, as we move, like if on the equinox, on the spring equinox, if you look at the east and look at the constellation at like 6 a.m, it'll tell you exactly where we at in relationship to how close we are to really actually falling into the age of Aquarius. And we're probably about still maybe 15 to 20 years from actually when the Sphinx will be looking into the age of Aquarius, but you can see it in the kids now. I mean, you mentioned, Dooley, about x-rays. My daughter does that. You know, like if I have pains, I ask her to look. You know, and she's like, I thought I had gallstones, and I ran to the hospital, but she told me it was a twisted muscle inside my body. And that's what they saw was it was a twisted muscle. Then they tried to tell me I had prostate cancer, and that's when she got upset. She's like, Daddy, I told you you ain't got no cancer.
Right.
You know, like that. So the existence of
Like, I'm the real doctor here. That's
Right.
right. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so it's just a matter of us keeping our eyes open and watching. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all around, all over. You
Exactly.
know,
Right.
it's
Exactly.
a very powerful thing.
Yeah, just coming too. And again, so while we're on that spot, again, being all around, I continue to bring this forward because Secret Energy came Supreme Brother Sevan Bomar, one of my mentors.
Yeah.
Great brother. He developed last 12 years been developing a space where we can come together and share higher levels of technology and communication with practical application in one space. So if you haven't already, use the link, sign up for secretenergy.com and share as an account. It's the first social media network there, and where you can post there and you can really start getting people who value this. You can tell other people about these things, but they don't value it. Everybody here has a value for that the level and know the experience because it's a part of the culture. If you're sharing, it means you have a level of experience in that field or whatever. And so your word is bond. What you say, we believe you. And so sign up, and again, it's more. Again, there will be places there to teach courses, drop courses, share it with people who value this level of information. And I remember, as Brad was saying, how we can be so nonchalant with our abilities. Everybody don't have those activated. Everybody has an ability to activate, but everybody hasn't activated this particular uniqueness. Is again flight, levitation, the sight, the vision. Everybody has access to a pineal gland, but is it awakened? Is it moving? Is it plush? Is it is it being stimulated consciously? And I wanted to swing over to my sister Nikki to talk more about this sonic alchemy. And because I know when I first learned about cymatics are the shapes that sound makes. Ooh, for all those who are tuning in. And so it makes a particular geometry around you, just like sound. If you're speaking, I'm sorry, I got the thing adjusted. Bam. If you're speaking to somebody, somebody behind you can hear you. To the left, right, up, down. Sound moves spherically or spiritually. In wordplay, it moves in all directions, and these shapes, embraces you. I have a machine, a cymatic machine where you sprinkle salt or sand on it, and you play the tones. You begin to see the. It's only a 2-dimensional shape, but it gives you a perimeter of what these vibrations may look like. So you use your imagination and think about the rest of the space of what it can be. While technology haven't come forth publicly and showed us, hey, what cymatics can be like. That may be that's a VR thing I might do. I ain't put it on my face yet, but be able to see, or maybe Siku's daughter can help us see the cymatics or shapes that's all around us. But I wanted to talk more about this sonic alchemy and how you're using that, and how you even came. What inspired you to begin to dive into the sonic alchemy, or is that a term? Yeah, please give it thanks.
Yes. So can you hear me okay?
Can you turn your mic up just a bit?
All right. Can you hear me okay now?
Nice, crystal.
Okay. All right, good. So the main thing within sonic alchemy, I guess there's some other people out there that have used that term, but for me personally, the way that I utilize it, because of my background in my esoteric self-studies, because there's so much that you can learn about it, but then there's a lot of what do you call it, falsities behind what sound actually does, how it relates to chakras, or what we call chakras or chakras, the energy centers. Because I always ask people to ask themselves a question in regards to what they're selling us and feeding us, as far as what our energy centers are, in regards to the frequency, because they're selling these bowls and things of that nature that resonate at these specific tones, but they're in different octaves. So you're dealing with different aspects of the self when you go into different octaves. And I always ask someone, if you're at 256 hertz and this is a C bowl and we're in a 4th octave, do you think that your root chakra is vibrating that fast? So I think about things like that, so I question myself a lot. and I look for this research, and there's no practical application or understanding to it. So how I utilize sound is the esoteric aspects that have been pulled from the ethers, because I like to channel from the ethers. Many people have a lot of different names for it. I call them the ancient ones, or the galactic ancestors. And they have, and the pool from source, the dark knowledge, all the knowledge that comes from the pool, that source and everything comes from. So when you pull from these spaces and places and go into meditations and understand that I have so much to learn, rather than thinking, oh, I have this tool here and this is how it makes me feel. What is the science behind what it actually does? So I have, crystal singing bowls because they cut like a knife. And they have the larger bowls that cut deeper into different aspects of the self. It's what you're experiencing. And if everyone's having the same experience in the same place, and maybe that's how they cultivated that. But then again, there's no writing to it. And because we're here in the West and they like to sell us these ideas, because we're going to buy, because we're a society of consumption, everyone's running to these crystal bowls, but they're forgetting about the metal. They're forgetting about the different aspects in the different metals that they can utilize to do healing, brass, bronze, copper, aluminum, silver, all these different metals and the tones that they give, depending on how deep you want to go or how high you want to go in size. And when you think of, the ancient knowledge that comes from the East, and then you correlate that with what they're doing in the West, they don't care about what frequency a bowl is or a gong is. They'll use these bowls to eat out of. So when I receive my bowls, it smell like Asian soup. So, they do whatever with it because they understand that it's metal, but it's also very healing and helpful. And there's many different sciences and ways that you can utilize these metals to heal yourself. So the way that I utilize it is by taking people on a deep journey with sound. I call it sonic alchemy because it's alchemical. So it does change and get into the deep cells, from the atom to the mitochondrial DNA, to the wall that the cell has to protect itself, to the water in your body that is your blood, that seeps through all of your whole structure, blood, bones, organs. And then it gets into the deep spiritual aspects of past, present, and future, here, there, and everywhere, space, place, and time. Because if you're doing this healing in the present, then you're healing your past, and then you're walking different into your future. So it's hitting you in the present, and it's allowing you to transmute things that don't serve you. So when I play these gongs, I don't play them in traditional fashions, or what they call traditional fashions. I don't even know how I play, because it's something that when you look online and you look at gong bath, I just look at it and sometimes I just get so upset. And I shouldn't get upset, but I know that they're playing, because there's different things. You can get into the nervous system. You don't have to play loud, but a lot of people are running to these European gongs and they say they're tuned to the planets and they're tuned to this organ. And I'm just like, really? Like, we're going to, maybe there's oscillations that they're catching, but there's things that I have an understanding of that doesn't make it make sense to me. So I utilize Chinese gongs because this is the origin of where the secret was brought down. That is on record at this time. We all know that we're people that love metallurgy. We love drums. We love sound. And historically, there are gongs that were made out of stones or rocks. So I did research on that, and they have the little stones that they play with, and they have patterns and things like that on there to produce different sounds. So the gonging has been going on for millennia. And even the bowls, they're not called bowls, they're actually gongs. And even the way that some of the gongs are shaped, they are shaped like these bowls, but they have nipples that protrude out of them. They call nipples. They have nipple gongs, and they have specific tones. But then again, they're not looking for a specific frequency. They're looking for tonality. And it's the tone that sets the tone for the healing. So if you want higher frequencies, you're getting rid of specific things, or lower frequencies, assisting specific things. And when you look at Chinese New Year, when they ring the gong 3 times, they're not playing it softly so they can get, an emotive response or something to go into your nervous system. They bang it 3 times to bring in positive spirits, to bring in the spirit of celebration so that they can have a prosperous cycle. So the way that it's being played now is not the way that I play. I actually allow the gongs to speak and it gets very loud. I've had people speak of levitating when they experience this. There's other aspects that are included, but I'll allow Chief Nighthawk to talk about that. And, you know, the one thing that I can attest to is that when I started my healing journey and working with this sound alchemy, the medicinal aspects of sound, what it's done for me and how it's assisted in transmutation in my own family and in my household, then it starts, my energy changes, then it starts touching my mother. Then my mother's energy starts touching my sister. And then there's explosive moments that come in the family, and then everybody knows where they stand, and then they move from there. So this medicine is extremely powerful. It is primordial, it's source energy, and we're born with a voice. We come out crying, or we come out with some type of expression when we enter into this world through the portal. So I always say our energy, or, you know, I do energy healing. So that's very important. Your hands are medicine and your voice is medicine. So you can do this for yourself. You don't have to have a dependency on experiencing it outside of yourself. You can start with yourself and let it lead you to other aspects of medicine that can assist you. So mantras are also very important. You can tone your body. You can allow outside instruments to assist in toning your body to give you different types of alchemical medicine. Yeah, it's a very deep science. Cymatics is great. They actually have technology that is 3D, where they put water on a plate that vibrates and oscillates at a certain frequency, and it will change the structure of the water, and it will move with that. So cymatics is really important for people to understand, because it does, when it gets into your cellular makeup, this is how your body is dancing when you listen to these frequencies. And I always say you're always what you consume. So that goes from light to food to water to energy by way of people, places, circumstances, and situations, and also music and what you watch. So there's, even when I'm watching different things, you know, because sometimes I just want to decompress and watch HBO or something. But I always hear that there are these programming frequencies, because I've tuned myself to actually hear it, so I can shift out of these energies so that it doesn't impact me, so I can stay on my frequency. And there's a lot of programming that's going on, and it is affecting the way that we think and how we operate, even from all the frequencies that are out here. And if it's not affecting us personally, it's affecting somebody that we know, that we love. And, you know, how do you get out of that? You have to set yourself up for success and put the right frequencies around you. And that's energy, that's crystals, that's the earth, that's sound, that's incense, is all types of things to heighten your frequency. And it's not necessarily trying to get to 4D or 5D or 6D, because we're all existing in that now. It's all here now. So you have to utilize the tools that can help you stay within that frequency, so that these other aspects and dissident energies that are just frequency don't impact you and corrupt you in your process of evolution.
Ashe.
Did I say that right?
That was perfectly said. It was
'Cause-
perfectly said. And you said
yeah,
it without
because, you
thinking.
know,
so that's-
I try to make sure that I'm talking, and sometimes things come out of me and I just let them speak, because I don't know. I always say I don't know everything. I don't know a lot about what I'm doing, but I just let them communicate, because this is something that's beyond my comprehension. I just know that when I'm acting upon it, it's happening and it's for the benefit of humanity. So this is a process to elevate, assist, and awaken what lies dormant within the children of the sun and those that are the ancient. So yeah.
Give it thanks. Phenomenally put. I always felt my most powerful when I was able to detach and say I'm just a vessel and be a channel. And you know, as a channel, you gotta have the right frequency to be able to move the energy. Like my brother, we put the energy into this battery. You gotta be able to focus and be still. Just like okay, let's say maybe we, with sound. My brother Sammy got a question, so I'm gonna do it before we go into the next space. Tuning forks, like if it, or a guitar. and you can tune your guitar to a frequency, but if you hear any other frequency, you will see if you sing a note, you get the right pitch, other sympathetic vibrations, it vibrates because they feel the resonance. It's all in the overtones and undertones, and that they're still communicating. So if you're able to tune yourself, like you're saying, that could be diet, that could be the state of mind, that could be a number of things to keep yourself in resonance. So you can be, you can catch these frequencies from your interplanetary ancestors or your other selves, other parts of you, or other cells in other dimensions moving parallel, and be that channel for whatever needs be. But you also can be into the driver's seat. Don't be possessed in a way that takes you away from the essence, but definitely attune yourself to allow that current to come through. And I know the first time that I was able to see consciously, I think it was in my 20s, where I had a journey with shroom psilocybin that allowed me to see things that as they are, see the pulses from the earth, from the plants, be able to communicate with trees a little bit before that, but realizing that we have it's a whole different reality. We just had to kind of remove the veil and really operate in that essence and know how to be multidimensional or intradimensional as the title states for the event that's coming up. So I'm gonna hit my brother Sammy. He got his hand up for a question, maybe for one of the panelists, or want to throw in a comment. So I give thanks for you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to unmute yourself and let it fly.
Wholeness family. Everything was ringing in resonance, so I felt the need to jump in. So I'm a fellow soul coach at Secret Energy. My specialization would be etymology, deciphering, and really, I guess you could say, being able to take one through the deprogramming and, an orientation to yourself and who you truly are. And, we go at this through the language. Me, I love history, and that's really one thing, because his story is actually linear. It's not a curve. So we can, if something doesn't line up, then we can actually see that. I loved computer programming. I got into computer programming when I was 14, 15, and in that time, we had the TI-83s for, the Algebra 2 and all that stuff. And, we had games on them too. So I would look into the code just because I had been coding already, and just to look at it. And I actually reverse programmed the code to actually make slope formulas to make my math test easier. So this is something that I love doing. And I actually had a build prepared for my own channel, and I'm starting on my own creations. This is about 8-9 years of study after an incarceration experience where I just was led deeply into myself and really what was going on. And after that, everything synchronistically led me to Secret Energy, and what I'm doing now. So I'm working on some videos myself, and actually the other part of the music, the vocal, getting into spoken word and writing some writing some songs and some raps and stuff like that. But I had a very some insights to give as well on programming. And you say all these frequencies that are out in the floating out in the environment. In the very first semester of university at Secret Energy, you'll find the deep program section saying, and he'll reference an article saying that how words do affect our DNA, and that to the Westerners, only the 10% of the DNA that codes for protein is the only aspect of the DNA that is looked at, and the other 90% is considered junk. Of course, this has to deal with mom or our memory. So they totally neglect the other aspect of the DNA, the memory, the history, the real her story, you know what I mean? So, but if you look at, I'm really deep into some symbolism, and I'm gonna give you a story real quick about some bees, but just to tell you about power. So what I think about when I think about power, I think of spirals, two forces coming together. A hurricane or a tornado is hot and cold. They come together to create the spiral. So those two things, and all things, just like your battery has a positive and negative, you draw that power from them when they're connected, not, so the blood is actually a light code suspended in a biological medium, which is water. It's about, it's suspended in water. So you got light and water. In the body, which we know that the body is a blueprint of the cosmos, which is all itself. We are that, and we actually understand our power through that. So we have the left side and the right side of our body, which is Mars and Venus, respectively. When they come into the heart, see, that's why we got to bring it back to the heart. We got to feel. See, our brain is divided. We got to build the bridge that was broken down when, just our mother language was taken away. So when you see the heart is one band of fibers, and it's twisted in a spiral. So the Sufis say when the air enters the heart, the blood enters the heart and does this spiral. This is when God enters the being. And we know that, especially when you get into the Kundalini breaths, you start with, breathing into the mouth, and then getting, especially the breath of fires and stuff like that, because those are a lot more powerful breaths. And anybody that is teaching Kundalini will advise you of that. So when you breathe in through your nose, your nasal cavity is called the nasal concha. It spirals. It actually primes the air and gets it ready for absorption, and actually produces certain chemicals that help with our immunity. So how this is, I had because I'm a beekeeper as well. Everything is so synchronistic from my jail experience to where I'm at now. So I'm a beekeeper now, and my daughter actually brought it. I was going to check him, and she just said something about the bees, and it came through. So, I'm actually about to harvest some honey in a few days. But as a beekeeper, how I get into my hives and how I work my hives, because you just can't come into the space. They're going to tear you up. So how I do it is I introduce smoke. So how bees work is they work on magnetics. They work on pheromones that they release from their nasal gland and their lower abdomen. So anything for communication, hey, and they use the sun to coordinate. So it's this side, this is the angle of the sun it's at. This is about how far it is away. And they use this by a waggle dance. You know what I mean? It's a motion, and it's in the shape of a figure 8. You know what I mean? So we know that this is the Taurus, right? So when the smoke comes in, it actually you'll get many different things in, beekeeping schools or whatever. They'll tell you that, it actually shuts off the receptors so they can't receive this information, or, it pacifies them. You know what I mean? And another one that I got was that it actually replicates something natural in nature. So if there's a forest fire, they're like, yo, we need to get out of here. We need to eat our honey so we'll have energy so we can find another place to live. So this is exactly what happens with the language. So what I'm trying to bring forward and, just give my own spin on is how, even if we take his story and we see, and it's all a battle, because it's symbolic, it's spiritual, it's still two brothers, two serpents, two family members fighting, a brother and a father and a dad going at it. So when you look into his story, you'll see that they're coming to conquer the new land, and you see that it's kind of still like, so the old one is Mary Tudor, so you got the Spanish, and then you got England coming over here. So even let's just say the details. We weren't speaking this language 300 years ago. So what the smoke does to the bees, it tells them to do something that they're not. While I go in there and plunder, while I go get their gold, they're over there consuming. So symbolically, we're consuming other people's creations. We're not creating our own. Mm-hmm. We're building other people's dreams, or we're getting trapped in other people's dreams, which are light dreams. That's what words do. Words are dot to dots from the stars that actually trap and hold light to convey a message. You know what I mean? And that's dope. Just something that, I had to just jump in and give a little something because, it was just ringing. wholeness.
Giving thanks, bro. Yeah, man. That's the divine resonance that coming through with the language of the words. That's all falls in place of with the again, everything is vibration, everything is sound. All this is how we manipulate it in different ways. And again, as you're saying, each tone has a resonance, has a space. And as we speak in English, it can be a little, chaotic. But it's dope because I know a lot of us are all here are becoming masters of the craft. Know what to say, how to say. For example, good morning. Who died? I switched it to say, great rising. So we begin to use our words in the lexicon a little bit differently to be able to communicate what we truly want to say. As we, some of us have, are bilingual, which is, continuously amazing to be able to do that. But we're refining English for ourselves to be able to birth the new reality because the power is in the tongue, as they say. So definitely learning how, even like my brother said again, moving the energy. We had the energy, we could talk about using the energy in football. I charged up, I truck them, and I kept moving through it. But you can, that energy can also be used in this spaces and in this space. That energy can also be, like, give you one example, analogy. And I know my sister Adara, probably if I said it wrong, but yeah, she'll be coming in next. I'll give thanks. And sharing some of her uniqueness and how she's going to be bringing through what she gives to the reality, and also what she's going to be doing in the event this weekend. How, for example, our spirits, typically a lot of us came through the Christianity door. And because it was one of those things when I said when I first felt that chill, when I heard somebody sing in church, I was like, oh, what was that? When she hit that note, somebody could say, baby, that's the Holy Spirit. That ain't to be. Then they hijack, they put a term on what I was feeling, and then now I'm diverted into, okay, that's the Holy Spirit. Every time I feel it, even if I felt it elsewhere, you would give that to an egregor or an external place that's taking that energy gladly. Yes, God did it. Okay, Jesus, yeah, I'll take all of that energy. But when you start putting into yourself, knowing that you are, you are the supreme being, and that these actual names are actual deities that cipher some of the energy, and so being able to change the lexicon, how we use words, how we operate in this reality to truly receive our inheritance as children of the sun, children of this planetary construct, and or as workers who came to this planet space to assist in bringing the balance, taking this thing off the wobble and bringing it back in the center. So my sister Adara, please give us some jewels that you just tuned in. We've been building here beautifully. We have been on for about an hour and 10 minutes. We probably wrap it up in probably like 10 or so. But please give us some love and who you are. Share the resonance. Honored to connect with you.
Hi, how you guys doing? I'm sorry I'm late. Thank you for having me, Curtis. Thank you for having me. So my name is Adara Mozelle. I am a Tantric Shaman, channel, and I pretty much just help people have the life they want through energetics, activations. I work in the light body, things of that nature. So for this particular event, I will be doing the Bliss workshops and doing some touchless orgasm type work, as well as just removing some traumas and just dealing with how we navigate this human body and our ideas around sensuality, sexuality, what it is, what it is not, how to not limit ourselves so that we can, as you said, reach the higher consciousnesses and really, really tap into some deep, deep, beautiful things, getting that energy back. I heard you saying things siphoning off your energy, but getting some of that energy back. That's what I'm going to be helping people do, so that's my thing. That's my thing.
Giving
So
thanks.
I'm so late, so I want to say something, but I don't really know where the conversation is going.
It probably hasn't been said, so I'm gonna throw you an alley-oop and bring this to you, because again, I love talking to divine sisters who again have that Venus energy. When I say Venus energy, that's sixth energy, that's sexual energy, but have it in
big
balance.
Venus. Big time
Exactly.
Venus. Yeah.
Exactly. So one of the things that that comes through when we talk about understanding this reality, and let's say to get here, it's a game Hindu called it Leela, the game of life, and it walks you through. It's kind of like It was brought to us by sages and sages and saints. It was a game they played for fun, and it was like this. It's kind of like a tarot type thing, and it takes you through the path. This is where we get the game Shoots and Ladders from. Shoots and Arrows.
Oh, okay.
And it's
Yeah, Shoots and Ladders, yeah.
Yeah, so but to start from the beginning of the game, you got to roll a 6 to get in, because we're talking about numerology here. So 6 is sex. To get into this reality, you got to come through a womb. You got to come to that balance of masculine and female. You got to be born in love, no matter if it was for a millisecond and your parents bounced after that. You know,
Right.
you're born with that conception of love. You entered the love door, the Taurus, the true
Yes.
love. And when we come here, if you still have that Venus essence, those who may be born on the 6th day, a 6th or the 24th, any day to add to a 6, or born on a Friday, you might have a little bit more of the Venus energy, and that beauty shines. And this reality can be quite perverted.
Yeah.
And they can turn that 6, into sex, but really, with the balance, as we know, we flip it, it's a 9. 9 is completion. And so navigating this place, this world, and having a strong connection to the sexual nature, and how were you able to explore that space? I know it may be some ups and downs, being in this world, bumps and bruises, where you begin to, now I'm going to use this as for healing purposes, but give us some ways that you express your sexuality, for lack of better words right now, and using it for, you said non-test, using that as a healing modality, and now being able to actually teach and help others, allow them to, because everybody has these arousal, these spaces. How can they use it, or how you first used it to get into these higher spaces of your consciousness?
Okay. Well, first I got into this because I thought I had anxiety, right? But really, I was an empath, and I was feeling other people's feelings. And I didn't realize that's what it was. So the confusion I was feeling was the fact that this stuff was coming from everywhere else, and my body didn't know how to deal with it, right? So it took me to the point where I was almost suicidal, right? So I was like, okay, I'm not going to go out like this. One, because I don't want my parents to have to explain to the world why their kids couldn't make it. So I went on a search for how to make this work. Every problem I wanted to fix. How can I do this, right? So I got into Tantra, and they were talking about like second puberty. I never really heard something like second puberty before. And I was like, man, maybe I'm not really an adult. Let me find out. You see what I'm saying? Maybe everything didn't come online in my body properly. Let me find that out. And by studying it, I was able to understand that, your sexual energy, when you refine it, it turns into spiritual energy. There's, like, you hear a lot of spiritual leaders having issues with sex, like they're trying to get too much, but a refined sexual energy turns into spiritual energy. It's creative energy, it's financial energy, whatever else. And everybody's just Kundalini thing. So if the energy is sitting at the base of your spine, right, and you shoot up quickly, then you have awakenings quickly, right? And once you get past your throat chakra, you're in the upper bodies. So you can tap into more of your astral body, right? Even though the astral body is more so easily tapped in through the heart, if people won't tell you. It's easier tapped into the heart. But you're able to really, really, really open up your consciousness and open up that tube of connectivity from the all or the universe or whatever back into yourself, back to the earth, and loop it around. It's a constant, like that Taurus field. It's a constant looping around, right? So when we're in sexual union, and there's things like the yab yum that you'll see in Tantra, or you're doing breathing techniques like the microcosmic orbit, you are recreating that thing, right? And when we came into this life, we had to choose a gender, right? A male or a female, with some caveats. Some people didn't choose a gender, but in general, we chose a male and we chose a female, right? But before we got here, we were both. So when we end up having sex, or you really commune in a certain type of way, not just regular sex, but you commune in a regular way, unique way, you are coming back to that feeling of being one again. That's one of the reasons why it's so addictive, because it's taking you back to that feeling of when you were whole, before you had to choose, before you had to divide. You see what I'm saying? So that is one of the things that people don't really understand about it. Also, when you're tapping into certain parts of the energy, you go back to your original DNA blueprint. So the things that are messed up in utero can be fixed. And then when you do that, you tap back into the ancestry and DNA line. So any wisdom that they had, any skills that they had, anything that they had, you can tap back in, right? Like initiation doesn't give you anything that you don't already have. So like Dooley's a medicine man now. He's been a medicine man in another lifetime. You know what I'm saying? He's probably dead on another planet. He's probably, you see what I'm saying? You're speaking now, you've been doing these things for years. So it brings back all of those things. So for me personally, after cultivating the sexual energy, and you know, it's not just about arousal. Yeah, I get aroused, but it's because it's my sensitivity to masculine energy because of like it's a big topic. I don't know how much to go into because we only have 10 minutes, but
and we're flowing.
yeah. So the goal of it is so I chose to be a woman in this life, right? And feminine energy has certain characteristics to it. Like a female frog does some similar things to a female human. Like we protect our children in a certain type of way. We have nesting instincts. So there's certain things that feminine energy does. There's certain things masculine energy does. So I'm doing my best to get back to the purest version of feminine energy. And I use that to project it into the masculine and bring about his most purest essence of his masculine energy. And all the stuff that's out of line of that falls off. You see what I'm saying? It just kind of disappears, right? Kind of like it's electrical current thing, but
yes. You're talking to people even in the tribe who get aware of, you know, they're picking up exactly what you're laying down, as they say.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying.
Don't sugarcoat nothing. Give it to us raw. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm trying to like that. So okay, yeah. So thank you for that. Thank you for taking my leash off. I appreciate it. So by becoming more of my divine feminine self, right? When a woman chooses to have sex from that area, she can heal the man of a lot of different things, damn near anything, right? She can bring any of his goals into manifestation. She can start a storm. She can do all types of stuff. Like all of these kind of people are talking about, she can do that. She can harness energy. She can give it back to him and vice versa. If she's been molested, raped, or has fibroids, he can pull that stuff up out of there. He can put joy in her heart. He can make her love herself more. He can open her mind up. He can do them. And then once they get to a certain point together, he can use her to ride through the cosmos. She's like a big target. You got a penis. It's precise, right? It's to a point. Hit that joint in precise places. Now you're tapping into new universes, different planets. You can do anything. You can get anywhere. Different dimensions, different parts in time. Through her, through the use of that channel into the cosmos, into the divine, into the all, the chaos in the woman, and the order that a man is bringing. You see, that's why there's a logical mind and the subconscious mind. That's why women are circular, their thoughts are circular. The man is more precise and to the point. You see what I'm saying? Because they're focusers of energy. That's why your dick has a tip. You see what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? So
each of us has that, you know, they say divine masculinity and divine femininity within us, and it's like how we marry the two. How we, you know, we find it out. Right?
You find it within yourself, and then you're able to find it in the world, and then you realize that all is one, and then you bring it back into and reconcile it to yourself. So it's like it's a constant reconciling of yourself. Constant. It's a perpetual dynamo, always. You know, and so it's like an energy battery. It's never going to stop. You know, it's never going to stop. So once people take out what it's not and what society has told you about it, or that religion has told you it's unclean, or you should be blissful in the dark. Like we just said on my last show I was on, it's okay to be violent in public, but you can't be blissful and joyful in public. What kind of trash is that? Like seriously, what kind of dumb shit is that?
Right, it's a glitch. Yeah.
Glitch, man. You ashamed of what brought you to life? Like,
right,
you drinking that
right.
for real, and you supposed to be enlightened though. You supposed to be
right.
That? All right, I see you.
Right. It's funny because that I've met some people. You know, you can't even like hold hands or, you know, give a hug. You know, you throw your shoulder up, or you can't say I love you back. Like, you know, there's something going on internally.
Right? Yeah, you're denying your will. You're divine. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. I'm sorry. Go for it.
You're fine.
Yeah. You're denying yourself. And you know, when people are doing medicines or people are getting tantric body work and they react negatively or in some kind of severe way, it's in direct proportion to how much they deny themselves.
Say it again.
Direct proportion, bro. It's equal, dog. It's mathematical equations. It's a mathematical universe, and so is everything. The numbers don't lie. So you know.
Boom. Boom. Raw. That was dope. That was dope. Thank you. Right. Yo, that's fire. You know, it's dope because again, so if somebody just jumped into the build, speaking to you still,
Yeah, she's dope. I'll pass the mic.
Jumped into the build and got no part of that. Knowing again sexuality, it's a build up to get to the space where you can use this energy. Yeah, you ain't gonna just I can go heal her and you do not but confuse her. You know, you got caught up in ego and no longer are you working for the cosmos or the divine femininity as a whole. You know, you working for yourself and trying to get your rocks off. So it's like it's a journey for male and females to get to the space where you can use for lack of better word, this tool or this modality to heal, you know, through this particular process.
So you have to work with yourself, you know, like I know everybody's talking about semen retention right now, but you retain your seeds is of no consequence if you don't work with yourself. It just really is, you know, you having this power is just like you having some electricity with no circuit breaker or no way of controlling it whatsoever. You're just out here doing something. You got to work on yourself. It's the spiritual refinement that gives the power.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm done.
So I know you got I know on this Saturday you're going to be what exactly will you be doing in the next event coming up, and also where can people connect with you? Because I know where can people connect with you? Because I know this for just off rip. I know a number of sisters who are phenomenal, but you know many suppress their sexuality because externally people they flip it upside down and they see the Venus energy and want to take it, not use it as a reflection of I should work on my own. So like how can people get in touch with you first of all, and they work with you or website or some of your pages? And everybody you can drop your pages. I'll drop in the chat, but on that holiness.
Yeah, so my website is www.adaramoselle, ADARAMOSELLE.com, IG Adara Moselle. And actually the workshop is starting on Tuesday and it ends on Sunday, I think. But I'll be doing a bliss ceremony on Wednesday night. And I'm just going to be showing people love in a way they haven't seen it before. Not necessarily romantic love, but just like real, for real, supreme love. So I'm going to be doing that. And I'm going to do some conversations with Nikki Morgan. So that's going to be, I think, Tuesday night. So yeah, just want to be out here, doing some things.
Giving thanks, and I'm looking forward to having you all again as we continue to build on the topic. We gotta honored. I'm honored. First of all, I gotta say it again. I'm honored to have you all come in today and share with all those listeners now and in the future. You clicked the right one for those who tuned in, and I give thanks for those sending energy, and check their pages out because I'll try to leave it in the description. If you don't make the event, please follow them on social media to see when they can be available. Possibly can even do something. Everything's online now, so there may be some Zoom opportunities for you can find on their website or something like that. I think we got anybody got a question on anything that was shared or from anybody? Let me check the YouTube chat also before we rock out for this afternoon. I just shared her page on YouTube. On YouTube. Anybody else got a link? Drop it into the chat so we can get that to the people.
Hey, brother.
Yeah, brother. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Somebody else said something. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I was wanted to say about the brother earlier when he was talking about language, which it was dope. But I wanted to throw in telepathy and how important that is as well. Especially working with some of the medicines. I had a brother who never worked with psilocybin before, and brother, very left-brained brother. And he never experienced any of the medicines or anything like that before. And I remember the sister that he was with started speaking to him mind to mind. you know what I mean? And it just changed his whole perception on reality, you know? So I just want to just add on just to say, hey, we got to definitely push that envelope. And I'm glad that Dara spoke about, you know, if people having generating these powers and stuff, but really having to refine yourself. That's very important, you know what I mean? Because even earlier when I said, you know, our people going through our thing, even the twerking and all that is ancient, you know, and that's another Venus type of energy, but having the sisters work it with it in a way that's productive and healing. So I just wanted to add on to that, man, you know.
Facts. I wanted to just bring one more thing since we got our sonic sister back in. As we know, we have an inner ear. You can talk to yourself and hear yourself. And so there's a tone that I experience all the time. I'm pretty sure all you all too also. It's that high pitched frequency, that like a drone type thing. And so with intervals, you can I use my imagination to raise that frequency. So as you like, let's say, I learned one of the tactics for moving intervals. Let's say octave. Somewhere over the rainbow, somewhere is an octave. So I would take that and I would and I would continue to raise that internal frequency. And I don't know what that does, other than it takes me to a different state. But I wanted to share that, just on this panel because I know it will be received well. Just again, so that frequency that I hear, I measured it at 16,000 something hertz. And so I take that and I continue to move it up, and it takes me to a different space every single time. Well, that same space, but it takes me to a higher frequency. But I want to know, because we're talking about telepathy and we're talking about frequency. So we're speaking on this particular frequency range right now. And I wonder if we raise our internal frequency and be able to hold that pitch, is that like a pathway or a door to telepathy? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there for whoever got the glove for it.
Well, I think that no, let me cancel that because I don't like to think anything. I know from experience when I do the sonic alchemy sessions, I always put into people's consciousness by vocalizing it that there is expressions of recall when you hear certain sounds. So let's just say, for example, if I play the gong, one of my clients that is very, very, very in tune, is a master at what he does, and he's an elder. What I do is when I play these instruments for him, or when he listens to I have a Tibetan and Crystal Bowl journey that is on Spotify and all digital platforms that people can listen to. But when you play these bowls, or when you listen to these sounds, or when you tone yourself, you'll be able to recall a lot easier, especially when you go into the aspects of plant medicine. So you'll be able to experience it further and further and allow that to work with you. So whenever you're working with frequency, I suggest people continue to resonate with that frequency, work with that frequency, see how it works with you, and then recall it. If you're dealing with things that are very heartfelt, when you sing or when you speak, what does it feel like? And if you change that tone, how does it support your heart space? Just like different types of release, like Adara was saying, orgasm. Perfect release. What do you sound like when you release? Or when you're crying, what are you vocalizing? How deep is that sound? And I know that when I'm healing, I'm doing some deep inner work that has to do with my womb space because of specific traumas. It's a very deep, like, it's like a really deep, deep cry. And it's a lot of, even my tears, the frequency of tears. A lot of people don't even think about that because it's salts. So it's purifying. And when I cry, I allow my tears. I wash my face with my tears. Because I let that energy of release be on my face. And what it does is it transmutes the energy to my physical being after I've done things with my spiritual being and my physical being. So that's the release that's needed. And I keep that energy to continue to allow me to release. So everything has a frequency. And if you recognize the frequency that is around you, or that your body is calling for by what you're transmuting out of your throat energy center, or even, just vocalizing in general, you're going to recognize what tones can actually support you. Not to say that everybody has a frequency, but depending on where you are, that resonates with a specific frequency. And I would center to that, like if you're doing womb work, or if you're doing heart space work, or if you're doing crown work, you want things that stimulate the mind. So think of piano or harps or fast flute playing or things of that nature, because we know that frequency is high. But we all love the drum. And what does the drum make you move? Your hips. And all of this, it gets you moving. So it's moving your body so that you can get the energy out that was creating that stagnation. Or when you're sitting in a chair all day, you just want to get up and move. So that's what the drum helps you do. And with movement, you're moving energy out of your body and allowing other energy to come in and support your body if you have the right intention. So all of everything that we're doing and offering for this this amazing healing week is movement, medicine, meditations, movement meditations, and healing work like sexual, sensual energy, tapping into the self. So we all have our own medicine to offer, and it's all complementary to each other, because once the week is over, you would have touched on all aspects of the self. So I encourage everyone to come, to contact us, to tap into the link, and to give, I give thanks to even be in the presence of all these people, because, or all these energy beings, because, once we're around each other, then we're starting to teach each other, and we learn more once you're resonating with that healing energy. So it is very healthy and very helpful for all that participate to understand that this is not just your journey. This is a collective journey. All of us are going on this journey together, and we all have something to learn. So embrace that this is a transformative aspect, and it's going to touch energy that's resonating around us tenfold, because we're applying that to ourselves, and then we get to share that with the world. So I'm done.
Thank you so much. Oh, my sister Adara. All right, so we're gonna start wrapping it up. Adara, do your thing, and then whoever speaks after her, just no share love. We're gonna start taking it on this.
Yeah. It'll be real quick. I just wanted to piggyback on what she said, which was very well put, like really, really well put. So like you're dealing with that frequency, like you have that sound that you're hearing, or you're toning something. It's like she said, you're feeling your heart space. Like really pay attention to where you're feeling it. Like you're feeling your heart, but like right here. So like breathe it in and then like push it out and then put your thought behind it if you're trying to communicate to somebody. You see what I'm saying? Like same thing. So like when you're doing certain mantras, you're making these tones and you're supposed to feel it through your body. Like if you're doing the healing sounds, you're vibrating so that your lungs are shaking. If you're doing the lung sound, or the kidneys are shaking, right? Or if you're doing the Gayatri mantra, and each word you come from your head, boom, 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 boom. You feel it come all the way down your body. So it's like it's a way of you learning deeper and seeing yourself on a holographic field. So that's all I wanted to add on that. So yeah, thank you guys.
Can I piggyback?
Please.
Thank you, Curtis. My first presentation will be with Nikki Love. So that's the new moon. And so what Nikki Love plans to do, which a lot of people would be doing a new moon ritual, was she wanted to focus our energy on raising our ancestors. You see what I mean? Like that. And so what she did like 4 years ago, Nikki gave me a lecture, and she taught that they set her on the rings of Saturn and showed that they put certain ancestors in the earth that we have to learn how to raise, which will be put there for our salvation. And so this particular weekend, when we got on that new moon, me and Nikki and whoever else comes out, we're going to be trying to raise them. So the other day I was watching the Animal Planet, and I saw what they call the Corolla spider. And so the technique, I'm not going to try to do it talking. I'm going to try to like sit us down next to this waterfalls, and we're going to try the technique of the Corolla spider, which he lives in the desert. And since the wind blows so hard against his yarn, he brings in quartz crystal around his den, and he attaches his yarn to that. So I'm gonna bring in some sacred water. And it's funny, as I was out digging in this construction site, because here in South Carolina, you can dig down 5 feet, and you can find what they call, it's a white clay that turns into quartz crystal over time, right? So I was walking around this construction site and ran into some real fine sand that when my daughter touches, she was like, Daddy, it's so light. But it also has the mirror in it. At one time they was using this mica for mirrors, so it has tiny particles of mica in it. So we're going to use that with some quartz crystal and some ancient and sacred water and see if we can duplicate raising our ancestors just like that spider does. So, and she hasn't gave me a time for it, but you know, it's funny because the first time I ever raised my second ancestor that I raised, I had this fucking audience, right? And it tripped me out because I'm an ex-Marine. So I was trying to sneak into the graveyard, you know, and I did my night vision. You know how you drive to the graveyard, one eye open, one eye closed. So immediately once you get out there in the dark, that one eye that was closed can see in the dark. And I snuck into the graveyard, right? And when I got to the spot where I wanted to do the damn ritual, there was people that were there. And I don't know why they were there. They that parked, took their cars, drove off the road, was shining a light up the hill, right? And was waiting for me to perform that ritual. But the amazing thing was when I performed the ritual, I heard chains in the ground. You know, like that, because I was doing the release, and the chains went crack. And I was like, well, maybe that's what them people was waiting for, you know what I mean? But I don't know how they knew. But it was on a new moon. And so my intentions of when we go down there, whoever's there, I know she's bringing a bunch of her initiates, because, you know, Nikki initiates people. Then we're going to look at, I guess, starting the process of raising those protecting ancestors so we can have somebody to work with to change the energy for us on this planet. You know, because some people say we're getting ready to go into war. So, and I yield. Thanks for letting me share that.
Oh yeah, giving thanks, family. Such a, you know, again, I can go on for hours. You know, I'm just thinking about the listeners and even having to download this and then, you know, edit it a bit and get it out different places and get it back too. But and leaving some of our, you know, viewers to come back for more next time we come on and share some of the resonance, because again, it's such a phenomenal build, so multidimensional. And this is, again, it should be a confirmation that anybody who's tuning in or is here, you are a multidimensional being without a shadow of a doubt. Like my sister Nika said, no thought, you know, don't think about it. You are, just, and know this. And coming into that balance of divine and feminine energy within yourself to birth, you know, this true bliss all around you. We're here. And you have a number of pillars in the reality, like those on the panel here and those who showed up, who are walking, who are on the journey and doing the work, and now making it available for you all to be a part of it. Be a part of it and journey. So check out the links in the bio. Subscribe to the channel. Shoot an email or check out all the websites. Follow the pages. Check out the website for the event. If you can't come out, get in contact with somebody there so you can move forward with, you know, making more connections. For all those who joined the panel, you will find a lot of us that were watching, that tuned in and out. We're members of Secret Energy, secretenergy.com. I'll send a link to you all, but it's another space, a hub, a first conscious social media network that of its kind. You know, we talk on cryptocurrency. I'm one of the instructors on cryptocurrency, how to get involved with it, how to use it. The platform even has its own currency that will be launching this year, going into DAO, which is a whole nother conversation. We teach, have lectures coming out. We have NFTs. We have a number of things that has been built for the last 12 years by Supreme Brother Savan Bomar, who shares it like no other, and he's pretty much, you know, give you an alley-oop. You know, if you come to the space and want to, you know, tap into yourselves, he gives a number of the blueprint, and we do a collective research that we bring things to the forefront. We build at least once a week, once every other week, on, again, everything we talk about today, and, you know, giving practical uses for it, and giving you a community that actually, hey, we value this information, and we know that your uniqueness is more precious than gold, because you're the only one doing it how you're doing it. So I want to give thanks to all the panelists who tuned in today and came through. I'm so grateful. Looking forward to building. I'm going to be hitting you all up again and like, hey, well, let's have a build. And if I can't make it out this weekend, we definitely gonna link up in the physical. Georgia's right there across. We're in South Carolina, so it's nothing but a drive away. And Brother Siku, thank you for, you know, bringing this to me. So without further ado, any closing words? Anybody, you're welcome to close out. If not,
Just thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
I say.
Yes, thank you.
Until next time.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, brother.
Be blessed.
This.